frantically wanting us to go to this concert with her at the fair when it was the Umatilla County Fair, and she desperately wanted us to go to the fair with her for this concert because her favorite band was playing Pecos on the rooftops, and her daughter backed out at the last minute. The poor kid is like tired. She was showing a hog for, I think, was it FFA? Yeah, FFA, and then she was also showing a hamster, and she was basically running back and forth across the fairgrounds constantly. So she was like, "Mom, I don't want to go to the concert," and so she was begging Kate and I to go to the concert with her. So we go to the show, and well, outrageous prices, but everybody's drinking a lot of beer. And when I say outrageous price, $9 for a fucking shot of Jameson.
Oh wow.
So, anyways, $18 later, we're the show gets done, and there is this girl there. I mean, she couldn't have cute. She couldn't have been taller than what, 5 foot. Anyways, this girl probably 21, 22. Like she was pretty brand new, right? But she was there obviously on a mission, and the guys that she was with weren't picking up on the vibe she was throwing down, right? And so the show gets done, and one of the musicians, I think it was the keyboardist, comes down and he's signing autographs, and so of course our friend Nikki, she wants to get up there because it's her favorite band, and we're all standing up there waiting, and it's the musician, a security guard, and a roadie, and the roadie's just kind of directing traffic for people wanting autographs. And partway through this, the musician gets a call on his earpiece, and he tells everybody, he says, "Okay, I'm going to try to be right back." And so he goes backstage, and this girl is standing there. We're all waiting, and this young girl is standing there. And finally, after about 5-10 minutes, the roadie says, checks his earpiece, and he goes, "Okay, it probably, he's trying to hurry back, probably another 5 or 10 minutes." And we wait another couple minutes, and she looks at the roadie and she goes, "So is he really coming back?" And he goes, "He's going to try to." And she says, "Because I want him to sign my boob." and so I start laughing because, having been in a band, this is not the first time I've seen this. Right?
Right.
And then finally, he goes, and the roadie doesn't really know how to react to this, and he goes, "Well, okay, well, we'll see what he says when he gets back." And then she goes, "Well, if he's not coming back, do you have a Sharpie?" And the roadie goes, "Why?" And she goes, "Well, I'll let you sign it." And I just started dying. I'm like, so this girl is so, I mean, she's like 1 or 2 beers away from handing out free Blumpkins to the first guy that walks past her, right? And I'm like, she is so desperate and so horny. She's wanting the roadie to sign her tits so she can flash him, right? Like,
Yeah.
fucking hilarious. I was like crying. I was laughing so hard watching this spectacle. I'm surprised she was like a cat. I'm surprised she wasn't like rubbing up against everything. It's like,
Oh my god.
yeah, she was pretty bad. And like I said, the guys that she was with were just like completely ignoring her. Like I'm like,
Or they're like, "Oh, here she goes again."
right? Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong with you guys? Like, it's a sure thing, okay? Like, oh shit. Welcome to Braunhaven. We'll be picking up where we left off 2 weeks ago. After my brief vacation, these guys they wanted to take a week for healing and whatnot. They were told that
On the level, to get the level back.
oh, that's right,
the book.
right, to read the book. And so
Yeah.
they're taking a week, and they were told that probably the best accommodations in the Imperial Port was not at any of the inns, because they already tried to stay at McDonald's Inn and Tavern, and they got into a fight with the bedbugs on the second floor. So that they decided that was right out. But they were told that the best accommodations in the Imperial Port was at Madame Bussard's brothel in the Merchant District, inside the Grand Mall, as a matter of fact. And so they went and paid up front for an entire week, and they bought the entire floor, the entire third floor, and so they have it all to themselves. It does not, of course, cover the cost of any harlots or food, but they have the third floor to themselves. So that's
What
what
kind of all-inclusive cruise is this?
Well, I mean, you can always go downstairs. I mean, and so the thing about the second and third floor, there is this open balcony here that looks down. So you're looking down 2 floors into the ground floor tap room, and of course you can hear the band playing, the minstrels, and you can pretty much hear what's going on. But the rooms have pretty thick walls, and so it is very, very peaceful up here for the most part. So that's where we left off. Before we get started, we'd like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They are just products that we really like. Today, we would like to thank the Speechless Bard. She makes beautiful leather products for your tabletop role-playing games, such as covers for your core rulebooks. She has, if you like to show off your geeky side, she's got a line of leather bracelets with the dice shapes cut out on them. She has this really. She posted a picture the other day of a custom one she did of the spell compendium, and it is a leather box shaped like a spell book that when you open it, on the inside cover is a magnetic spell tracker, so you can track your spell slots, and then it is kind of a bifurcated interior space that can be used to hold a deck of cards or be used as a rolling tray, things of that nature. And the one she did, it was like, I think she called it like the pink gothic vampire, and it was sweet. She does all of the customization by hand. She's an incredibly talented artist. She takes it to the level that she actually goes to the leather workers and hand picks her swaths of leather. So she's very particular about the leather that she picks, and it's not just random. She is over in the UK, so if you're going to order, and this is especially true if it's a gift idea, make sure that you order. Give yourself a little bit of early time so that it has a chance to cross the pond. We also have a merch store via Zazzle. Excuse me while I scratch my ear. Zazzle, we have a merch store. Newest product on the merch store is I did add Whiskey Rocks glasses with the Greenwater logo on them. And there is, of course, a beer stein. There are hoodies and t-shirts and buttons, blankets, and we're getting quite the selection of items. And 100% of the proceeds from that merch store goes directly back into the channel. Helps pay for things like the Roll20 Pro subscription, and as you can see, we use Incarnate quite a bit, so it helps pay for that subscription. And it's all the little nitpicky things that add up over the month that when they all get thrown together at the end of the month, they're not so nitpicky anymore. If you want to help us out, go get yourself a Whiskey Rocks glass and a t-shirt, and we appreciate everything you do for us. The new book, The Mystical Sylvanas Forest, is up for sale in both PDF and hardcover print on demand. And if you order the hardcover print on demand, you get the PDF and all the digital map assets and whatnot. That is all free with the purchase of the hardcover. So you're getting quite a bit of stuff there. Plus, you get a physical copy of the book. And so that is available up on DriveThruRPG. So if you are following along with the Braunhaven campaign, definitely go check that out. And currently, I am working on an adventure, the Southbridge Murders, and that will be a direct tie-in to the Mystical Sylvanas Forest. And that, I mean, I'm not going to give myself a deadline here, but it's coming along quite well. So probably be available sooner rather than later. And I don't know if that will be available in print on demand. I might just keep it PDF, but it really depends on how thick it is. I think I'm up to 30 pages so far, and it's just a one-off adventure. But if you have followed some of my previous books, you know that I try to account for many different scenarios. Like there's some stuff on the maps that the players may never actually interact with, but it's there because what if the players do interact with it? I try to see as many angles as I possibly can. I'm not perfect, but so I'm trying to do the same thing with the Southbridge Murders, and so we'll see. If it's high enough in page count, then it will be probably a soft cover. I don't anticipate it being very big, so, but it's coming. So you guys are on the first floor, and this is the first night. You guys have just paid for your rooms, gone up, and you did meet Madame Bussard, who is, and let me double check something here. This is Madame Bussard. She is a tiefling. And you guys haven't seen too many tieflings, and I don't know how Mavis, really feels about seeing a tiefling. But you know that so historically there was a time called the War of the Heavens, and that the War of the Heavens is how this period ended. But anyways, there were 3 archdevils that basically came to the Prime Plane and kind of set up shop. And of course, as you can imagine, that kind of wreaked havoc. One of those devils had set up shop in the capital city of Glaustein, capital of the Glaustian Empire. And and of course, these archdevils bring with them their retinue of demons and devils and sub-lieutenants and etc. This led to there being a higher than normal population of tieflings. So there is a higher percentage of tieflings that come from Glaustein, and it's not necessarily their fault. It doesn't necessarily mean that all tieflings are evil. It doesn't mean that they're all working for some archdevil down in the lower planes, but they're there, and she is the product of that lineage, and she came from Glaustein to the Imperial Port and set up shop, and she pretty much set up shop immediately right away as a madam. So she came here with the idea of creating a brothel, and create she did, because here it is.
She knows that sex never goes out of business.
Right. So she had the staff. You guys did meet her briefly, and she had the staff set you up with baths. I believe she put the baths on the house, since you were paying for an entire week. And
we were very eager to have a bath, so I believe, and we came in stinky as hell.
Yeah, you guys came in. Yeah, you looked pretty bad. You came in from the sewers, and so you stink, and you're covered in it. And she was more than pleased at the idea that you, especially even Dentry, was willing to immediately. You okay? To wanted a bath, and so she had her staff set those up for you, and you have just now gotten out of your baths. Now, this is entirely up to you, but I assume that Malachi and Alora wanted the same room. But if not, there are two other rooms available. So if that's not your thing, I just assume that Malachi and Alora, those characters, being what they are, wanted the same room.
It don't matter to me. I mean, it's probably going to be a week of studying and stuff.
Cameron's muted.
Sorry, yeah, I agree. It was like, I'm probably going to be studying all week, but
okay.
I would rather not do it alone.
Okay, so it was Alora that was the one that was reading the book, right?
Yes,
She was,
I get one level back of
yeah,
the two that I lost.
she was the one that got tapped on the shoulder by the specter, and so
Yeah.
much of Alora's taunt. Now, I need to look at that book. So, which book is that?
Um. Okay. It was. I didn't write down the full name, but it was like it was. I found one of these for Mavis before. It was a holy book that you read for a
Right.
week to gain a level,
Right. So
and the
it,
one that we found for Allura was for Druid. So I thought I could use it still.
yeah, it would be the Book of Sublime Holiness. Let's see.
I remember we found one, and the witch was the only one in our group that could use it,
Right.
and then that's when I tuned it out.
Sounds about right.
So yeah. My first question is, what is Alora's alignment?
Um, awful.
Okay, that's perfect. So, okay, so if you study it for 1 week, you will gain 1 experience level, and you'll gain 1 point of wisdom. And
Oh, well, that's great.
you can only benefit from this once, even if you find another one.
That would make my wisdom 15. It's still just a +1 then, I think.
Yeah.
And like,
So it's, you said it's 16.
it's 15. It was 14, and then adding one will make it 15.
Yeah. So it'd still be +1. Yeah.
Okay,
But,
well,
but I
that's
mean,
great.
if you find something else that adds to it, then you're looking at any further point bonus. You'd be looking at +2. So I mean, that's pretty fantastic. So I would say that this is similar to study in, say, Traveler to gain a skill. Basically, that week you're talking about 8 hours a day, 8 to 12 hours a day of pure study. Um, not of course there's some leeway in there, meal breaks and things of that nature. And this is still the first night, so you guys finish up your bath and kind of dry off. I don't know if you guys are, you're probably a little worn out from tromping through
Yeah.
the sewer, but it is up to you. Is there anything in particular you want to do? I mean, there's a whole bar downstairs, and there's all sorts of stuff going on.
Maybe I'll try and save some of the ladies of the evening. I probably won't go over too well, but I gotta try.
Okay, so Mavis wants to go downstairs. I take it.
Yeah, I'll chat with them.
Okay.
Jackson will go down too.
Okay, so Jackson will go down. What about Dentry, Malachi, and Borman and Alora? What about them?
Laura's reading.
Yeah, Malachi is going to be spending the majority of this time. He wants to try to create a magic item if he can.
Okay.
I want to incorporate the 3rd level necromancer spell, protection from evil, 10-foot radius.
Okay.
And I want to make it an amulet version of some sort.
Okay. Hold on here. Let's see.
Necklaces are the new style for the party that is packed full of rings.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
for real.
Yeah.
Let's see. And a necklace will stack with a ring. So let's see here. Magic.
We're gonna have to make toe rings and anklets.
Right.
Yeah.
Toe rings. Yes.
Monocles.
Let's see.
Paint ring for the discreet adventurer.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what level is that spell?
Third.
It is third.
Yeah.
And what spell is it?
Protection from evil, 10-foot radius.
Okay, so this would duplicate the effects of the spell. It would take a week of game time, and if it's third level, that would run you. You're going to need 1,500 gold pieces total. Let's see
I
here.
figured I would just ask Brian to remove that from the party coffers of the vault.
Got
He's
loaded.
got that note. Yeah. But we're definitely getting the money from the vault because we've dumped all our money there. On hand, I have a handful of gems and shit for trading purposes.
So the 50. So this wouldn't be something that would be on all the time. Let's see here. Precisely, and for these, referee will have to use discretion. The more powerful the item, the more difficult it should be to construct. So if you want the base cost is 1,500. If it's going to need charges. So, how many? I guess the question is how many times you want to use it. So that 1,500 would be multiplied by the number of charges.
Did the charges come back after a while?
No.
No, and then when all the charges are done, the item is destroyed. Can I? I'm trying to think. I mean, we're starting to get to the point where if I could just make a fucking scroll and drop 1,500.
Right. You could just for the cost of 1,500 gold, just create a scroll that will allow. And literally, the thing with scrolls is that they are not usually written in the arcane tongue or magic. They are written in common so that anybody can cast them. You could hand it to Dentry, and technically, I think Dentry can read. If you can read, then you can cast from a scroll.
Dentry can read, Jackson cannot.
I always get that confused. In my home game, we have a barbarian that is completely illiterate. She can't read shit.
Maybe
Dentry's been around people. He's trying to prove himself useful to people. That's his whole thing. Because him half orc. He's like, no, but I'm useful. You want me here.
Right.
I'm good for party.
How about if I make it in an amulet form? Over the course of this week, with the idea that I can do a ritual and pay the money and all that shit on the road to recharge it.
So I do not believe that you can recharge. Let me double check. I'll probably help.
That's a neat idea. If it only has one charge, but you can recharge it.
Yeah.
Right, and I, if I remember correctly, you can't recharge items. Let me recharge. I'll probably be in rod staves and wands. So, number of charges in an item when discovered is determined. Well, this is an item that's discovered. It is not possible for characters to discover the number of charges on their own. Consuming last charge, the item loses its magical potency. Recharging is not possible. So, and I'll state my reason for wanting to keep that as a rule. And the reason being is that I think that the ability for wands and magical items to automatically, I mean, it's gone way too far the other direction, to automatically regain charges. You saw this in 5e. Oh, every morning it regains X number of dice charges. And that removes the need to find more magic items. And it also makes the characters overpowered. So I think no recharges.
All right. I don't know if it's worth it. All that I could just fucking stick it in a spell slot and not spend the money. Just cast
True.
it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, if you were to spend the 1,500 gold and make a scroll, you could give that to anybody, because there is, for example, let's say that you cast a spell and you are concentrating on that spell. You can't read from the scroll to cast another spell because you're concentrating. But if you write the scroll and give it to, say, Dentry or Borman or even Mavis, anybody, then that gives them the ability to cast it as well. And
What spell is this for?
So it's a protection from evil, 10-foot radius. So I mean that's a 20-foot diameter around the caster that is a protection spell. So that's pretty worth it.
Yeah, I'd like to make that.
Okay.
I'm just going to do it in a scroll.
Okay. So
I've got all that shit in hand.
Yeah, that would take a week's worth of time.
15,000.
Yeah.
1,500. 1,500.
1,500.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's much better. I was like, damn, that's a lot of gold, but okay.
Yeah, no, it would have been more if he were doing like an amulet or something like that with multiple charges, but
I'll just do it as a scroll, and that lets the idea is to give it to Dentry, the frontline guy, because it's basically gives you an armor, provided we're fighting something evil. But
so the spell awards the caster and all allies within 10 feet from attacks by creatures of another alignment as follows. Those warded gain a +1 bonus to saving throws and attacks and special abilities of affected creatures. Against those warded, attacks from creatures are penalized by -1. Enchanted, constructed, or summoned creatures, the spell additionally prevents such creatures from making melee attacks against those warded, though they may still make ranged attacks. If any of the warded party engages such a creature in melee, this protection is broken. Those warded still gain the save and attack bonuses mentioned above. So I mean, that's a good spell. Something to
because it does that -1 versus attack on the, and so if we get a guy that's knocking the fuck out of our -3 armor class, we can, it's a sneaky -4 armor class because it's not lowering the armor class; it's saying the enemy takes a -1.
Right, and so the wording of the spell, or the name of the spell, protection from evil. Something to keep in mind is that alignments in older editions, basic and expert D&D, which is more or less what this is, with some mild tweaks. It has only a 3 alignment system. There's lawful, neutral, and chaotic. So it leaves a lot of it leaves some ambiguity into what is good and what is evil. The most natural assumption is that a lawful character is going to be good and a chaotic character is going to be evil, and a neutral character is going to be just selfish. Is the most obvious, but that's not always the case. I mean, there could be some chaotic creatures that aren't necessarily evil, or the way I interpret it, they may not be evil for evil's sake. They might just be truly chaotic, just random.
It could be on the thing of we're good or we're evil. Pick one, and everybody against us is not.
Right.
By fighting,
Yeah.
you're dubbed evil from my point of view.
Yeah, more or less, that's what I'm kind of classifying it as, because I mean that same spell can also be protection from good. So the bad guys can cast that and say, no, we don't want good guys attacking us, blah blah blah.
Right.
So the same thing is doable, and I've done that with some NPCs. Especially evil NPC clerics, they'll have protection from good 10-foot radius. But then, I mean, then you get into the philosophical question. Yeah, the evil guys don't ever really think they're evil. They think they're doing whatever is in the right. So, they don't know they're evil.
And then Borman is really wanting to go scout the tower out.
So you want to leave? So you want to leave the brothel and go in search of,
Yeah,
or
I want
kind
to
of.
go invisible and creep my way over to the tower and avoid everybody and everything and go take a look at the tower.
Okay.
Is kind of
So
what I'm.
what? And then that leaves. What about Dentry?
Gantry's gonna hang out with the party and kind of just be like, because his whole thing is, I just want to protect my friends. This
Okay,
whole deal.
so I mean, so it looks like Malachi and Laura are staying in their room, doing, uh, wink and a nod, doing magical stuff. Are you staying upstairs, or are you going down to the tap room?
I mean, if they're in their rooms and we have the floor to ourselves, I'm sure that they're safe. So I'm gonna be down with the other two, just keeping an eye out for any shenanigans.
Okay.
The bar did provide us 2 guards.
Yes, there are,
Keep
and
people. Yeah,
that
yeah. You're
is a very good point. I will show you where those guards are.
in theory.
I will say to them as I leave the floor, I leave my friends in your care. Should harm come to them, harm will come to you.
These are good guys. Yeah. So okay. Uh, and we'll say he is.
They're probably always milling about in that area.
Right.
I doubt they're the type of guards to stand at attention and all that shit.
No, these guys.
But
No,
So,
they're guarding prostitutes.
the
They're
guards.
sitting in a chair.
So the guards are actually elite bandits.
all right,
They're
so they've got a stat block.
Oh,
yes, they do. I created a stat block for them. Put him there, and another one probably right about there. And
chilling
they're
by the
they're just
furnace.
kind of staying out of your way, just kind of standing there at the bottom or at the top of the stairs, and you know they're able to read the room. I mean, they probably think it's a little odd that you would even need protection. Like, obviously you went into the sewers and came back okay, so a little bit of there's a little bit of question as to why would you need bodyguards, but
It
anyway.
keeps patrons
Hey,
from
they're
the.
like, hey, we're getting paid to do protect
Yeah.
people who don't need protection. Works for me.
It's basically just to keep patrons and shit out of our area.
Right,
We
right,
don't want drunken guys going, I'm just gonna go up there and pay for the room after. They know my name around here. You know,
right,
Mhm.
right,
it, and that stops that. It makes it a little more difficult for you to narrate our shit getting stolen. You know, uh,
And no one disturbs the study.
yeah. And I mean, if it just worked out that we got guards, why not have the guards? We definitely want someone to make some noise and let us know that the Imperial Guard is coming upon us, because we did just kill their witch hunter, and
right.
Malachi's wearing his hat. So
I forgot
oh
about
shit, that's
yeah,
true.
Let's see here. Dentry, Mavis, Jackson, and Borman all roll a d6.
I
I got a 2.
1 and 3.
Okay, so who got the 1?
Gentry.
Okay, so Dentry, on your way down the stairs, that color. I thought it was. Sure, that's better. So on your way downstairs, on the second floor here, You note that there is a secret door on this northern wall.
I pointed out to the others as we walk down the stairs, like when we're not around some people. I'm like, did any of you guys notice that secret back there? I mean, not my business to go snooping, but it seems kind of strange.
You sound like one of the
That's
NPCs from Baldur's Gate. Whatever. There's a secret here.
Morgan, fish, ain't it?
So yeah.
I guess
Mormon's
first
like, wait,
thing in
what'd
the
you say?
morning
Secret
would
where?
be.
Secret. It's a peeping
That's when
Tom
you'd
door.
investigate in a brothel, right? Is like in the morning. I doubt there's a lot of business done. So
And I mean, it's probably to her personal area and everything. I mean,
It's a
oh,
peeping
that's true.
Tom
Maybe
door. Come on.
yeah,
Right.
I'd
yeah.
be.
So
I
yeah.
mean,
Probably put someone she wants to keep an eye on in a room, and this lets her look at that room.
And
yeah.
there's another couple of these elite bandit bouncers that are standing on this floor, kind of keeping the peace as well. So, and this is kind of where they hang out on this floor. So, you wouldn't be able to investigate that secret door without drawing attention to yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so that's her shit. Unless we're actually going to actively try to rob this lady, then we probably shouldn't be going in places that say employees only.
Yes,
know?
that's a good point. Yes.
Yeah.
At least not day 1. Maybe day 7 before we leave.
Yeah, because
Give it a look.
Yeah, that's better.
So
I
Definitely.
have to get that ring back if we don't stay the whole time. And
So the second floor is a little bit different than the third floor. The third floor is made for overnight stays, with the assumption, of course, that each of those rooms is going to be filled with numerous, either at least one, but probably more hookers. But the second floor is more an hourly rate, and there are a number of tables up here as well that overlook the tap room below. Um, mild candlelight up here. It's a little bit noisier. You can hear. This is evening, and so there are quite a few patrons in here. Although it doesn't seem like Madame Bussard's. It's kind of like Vegas. It just never closes. And so Dentry, Mavis, and Jackson get down and find a table, and one of the working girls comes over and takes your order. What would you like to drink? What would you like to eat? And she says, so these spots here and here and here are stages where the pros kind of stand up there and do a little dance and kind of more or less sell their goods. And she points out, she says, if anybody catches your eye, and they've got both, it's kind of like Firefly. Oh my gosh, they got both girl and boy whores. So there's a smattering, and there are multiple different races. It doesn't seem like Madame Bussard is, she's got a good amount of diversity. She's DEI positive, and so there's even a half orc that works in here. And so, she says if anybody catches your eye, you can talk to them, and she says, the rates are they'll tell you the rate, whatever the rate is, depending on what room, what floor you want them on. But she asks, what would you like to eat? They've got roasted joint. You can order roasted fowl. There's a soup, a stew. In the morning, they serve gruel. And ale and mead and wine are plentiful.
Jackson, being the alcohol snob that he is, they're like, let me go over to the bar and see what you got.
Okay. So there are two.
Because I don't want you serving me well.
So the tap room here has 3 bars. There is one on the west wall, one on the north wall right in front of, or just kitty corner in front of the kitchen, and then there is one on the east wall. And the one on the east wall, there is a large door behind the bar that leads to an office area. And so, which bar are you going to?
I'll start with this one
Okay.
since it's right there. Kind of see if they've got anything like, hey, so what you like top shelf stuff looking like?
So they do have. They have ale. Standard pint of ale is 5 silver pieces. However, they do have some of the. I think you guys might have experienced it at least once. There is a cheap ale that comes up from the underworld, and it is actually brewed by the Duergar, and it is one of their most popular exports to the surface. But most people don't. Most civilized people don't like it. It is known as Duergar 211, and a pint of that, it is made for it is essentially brewed from fermented fungus and lichen that is found plentiful in the underworld. And a pint of Duergar 211 is 1 silver piece. They do have a pretty good mead that is imported from Stagina, crafted by the Staginians, and that's 1 gold piece. And then they have a pint of wine is 1 gold piece. I mean, that's a pint of wine. That's a lot of wine. That's not
That
no
is a lot
little.
of wine.
That's not no little glass. Here's a pounder glass of wine. But they also do have aged dwarven whiskey. It is what the dwarves would consider bottom shelf. It is aged 150 years, and that is a shot of that is 5 gold pieces.
Wait, that's even better than the one that I know how to make. I know how to make a 50-year one.
Right?
And they've got a 150-year one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that means the one I have is even less good. The one I know how to make is even less good than that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that so that I can like compare it to what I know and maybe improve the quality of the one I have.
Okay. Sure. So 5 gold pieces for a shot of that.
Okay.
And then they of course want to know if you would like to order food. They've got
Yeah, I'll get food for the table.
Okay, so I would think that a roast joint would pretty much feed everybody. They've got wedge of cheese for 1 silver piece, mixed, or if you can get a little sampler platter of fruit, nuts, and cheese for 2 silver pieces.
All right, I think Dentry and I will have some fun with that joint, and we'll get a cheese and the mixed platter. Maybe it seems a bit more refined. She'll probably enjoy something less. I don't know. I'm assuming here and get her so I'll get all 3 of the things.
Okay, and so roast joint will run you 25 silver pieces. It's a good sized joint. I mean, it's probably the entire back hip of a hog.
Like a Spike Lee
sweet.
What were you about to say, Mavis?
It says share it. That sounds really good.
Hell yeah, sharing. Absolutely sharing. I'm buying it for the table. I'm not buying it for me. I'm buying it for the table. Absolutely.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so you guys you're sitting there, Mavis, you see a number of scantily clad males and females standing up on this, and on the stage there is some musicians playing. And I will tell you about. So it is the Gilliam Turnbottle Band. Gilliam is a half elf, and he is the that is his assumed name, and he is the front man for this band. Does some singing, and then there are a number of backup players that are up there, and they're singing away while harlots dance on the stages. So Mavis, you said that you wanted to try and save some of them.
I will try and see if I can get any of them to change professions. My charisma is 5, so there's basically no chance of this working, but I believe it's what my character would do.
Okay, so roll roll 2d6 plus your charisma modifier. Or minus your
That was
charisma modifier, as the case may be.
Yeah. -1. 7.
That actually isn't that bad. So,
Sweet.
so you were right. You kind of strike up a conversation with a male half elf that is working as a prostitute, and um, he says, "Oh, well, there's no, there's no way that you're really going to succeed in getting any of us um, to leave the profession, and mostly that is because we cannot." And
Ooh.
I will tell you why.
Indentured servitude, probably.
Yes, but
like this.
so the reason, so he tells you that they have a pretty good deal. He says, so we were. He tells you that he actually originally worked on a ship that was raided by bandits, and he ended up being sold to Madame Bussard's, and he is thankful actually that he was sold to Madame Bussard's. And the reason he is thankful is because of how Madame Bussard treats people. And the deal is that if they work in her brothel under indentured servitude for a year, that she will free them. And a part of that is, of course, that out of the money that is taken for their services, they get to keep a little bit of it. And if at the end of the year and she frees them, if they decide to stay, that stipend that they get to keep increases, but it becomes a 50-50 stake. So she's incentivizing them to stay on, and he tells you that a lot of people, or a lot of the prostitutes leave and never come back.
Okay,
It makes
well,
sense.
I'm glad some people escaped.
What was your
And that Madame Bussard is not like a monster. I feel a little more comfortable being here.
question, Brian?
Oh no, I wasn't. I'm right there with her. Like that sounds like a pretty awesome deal. Then, like you get out of probably a worse situation, and after a year, you can get out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad deal. Jackson, roll 2d6 plus or minus your charisma modifier.
2d6 -1. I got a 3.
So, maybe it's the fact that Jackson is hairy, but you're not really drawing the attention of any of the prostitutes. But Dentry, you can roll 2d6 plus or minus your charisma.
I hope this goes well because it really fits with what I want to do for his character right now.
So,
5.
yeah. So Dentry does draw the attention of the half-orc. It is a half-orc female. What she's dressed, it is essentially, I mean, it is very stereotypical. Essentially, it is chainmail lingerie, and she is kind of, from a distance winking at Dentry. Now, I can only imagine what a half-orc prostitute looks like winking. It's probably not subtle at all. Like her face is like grimacing up, like maybe she has an ice cream headache, But yeah, it's pretty obvious, and I'm sure that Dentry would notice and pick up what she's putting down.
Ever been in a brothel before this? He's generally in human towns and they don't let him in.
Right.
They're like, no, we don't serve your kind here. So this is kind of new to him to be able to see one. and he's rarely ever run into other half orcs that aren't being killed or beaten or mistreated. So to see one that's of any kind of friendly nature is very interesting to him right now. He's like, oh, oh, do you see this to the others? I think she likes me.
Right.
Yeah.
This is reminding me
He
of that.
has to.
This is reminding me of that episode of The Shield where Shane has to go undercover to break up the strippers that are mugging guys out in the back. He's like, she's not a stripper. She's an exotic dancer, and they don't just do that for anybody. Yeah, they do.
That sounds like a guy I knew back in college.
right, yes. So yeah, she's winking at you, and I don't know how Mavis feels about this. Jackson,
no, I'm telling Mavis, no, she likes me.
I am not getting in the middle of two, like, yeah, I'm not getting in the middle of this situation. I would probably die if I interfered. So I'm just not going to do it.
Jackson, if Jackson wants to get one, he's going to have to pour on the charm and seek one out, more or less.
I'm gonna go to another bar, one of the other bars, and see what they have, and see how this liquid courage works for me as I meander to another bar.
Okay,
so this one.
So there would be, if you're sticking to the whiskey, that would be another 5 gold pieces.
They have the exact same offer as the other one?
Pretty much the same offering. This particular one the Northern Bar also sells 1 ounce pouches of what is called shire smoke, where created by the halflings. The halflings are known in this region for growing pipeweed, and they take imported Ereboschian tobacco and they do kind of a 50-50 mix of pipeweed and tobacco that is very popular in the Braunhaven region and the Galatian Empire as a whole, for casual smoking with a light buzz.
Done. Jackson's gonna let loose. He hasn't had a chance to just be calm for a minute. It's been a lot of fighting and killing, and he's gonna take advantage of the downtime.
Okay, so yeah, a pouch of shire smoke is 5 silver pieces, and so yeah, you light up a pipe, you have another shot. This time, make a charisma ability check. So you want to roll under your charisma.
That's gonna be hard, but okay. And the shot was 5 gold, was it?
Correct.
Okay. Under my charisma.
Look at that!
I did
Ooh. It. So you do get the attention of one of the girls in the bar. And
she's really hairy, and she wants you to do very soft.
She's another half orc. No.
Yeah.
She steps down off the stage, and I don't know. Let's see.
Funny thing is, Jackson's not wealthy because he's a ranger. He ain't got a lot of money to begin with.
Well, that isn't. She's not too hideous. She has a charisma of 10. So she's not got any bonuses or negatives. So she's fair to middling, and she comes over and she looks at you and says, "So what are you drinking?"
Some dwarven whiskey. Comparing it to my own brand, I make a decent one. This one's better, but mine is good too. Because drunk and bad charisma.
Right. And she,
yeah,
she orders one, and she takes a taste. She goes, "Oh, yeah, this is really good." Most of us don't have a chance to really sample much of the good stuff, but you have excellent taste.
So, yeah. Oh, I could tell you more about other alcohols I make too.
Nerd.
I'm trying to play them as bad as I can.
So you guys are hanging out, and
wait, did I end up buying her that drink? Because you know how that goes.
You can.
Can I get a drink?
You can buy her a drink.
No, but is that how did that happen? Like, is that drink on my tab or is that drink on her tab? Because
No,
like, oh, you want to buy me a drink?
it appears that she got it on her own.
Oh wow.
Like, hell yeah, because you're lucky I'm not DMing because I sure would have taxed your ass. Oh, hell yeah. She'd have been drinking and I'd have role played that shit out and tally marked your ass and be like, well, you owe 50 gold.
I'm like, yes, I've been borrowing gold by then night.
Mavis and Dentry, you can make a wisdom ability check. Roll under your wisdom score.
Okay. I gotta get under 12.
Oh no, I didn't make it.
So yeah, neither of you catch it, but so Jackson, so she does say, she says, so she goes, that pretty much took up most of my earnings for probably the last week, but I can say it was worth it.
Oh no, I can't have you. I don't want to take your earnings away from you for the week. That's not a gentlemanly thing to do here. Maybe at least buy that one for you. So I offer to pay it because
Okay.
I'm shocked a woman's talking to me right now.
Right. So she she says she of course immediately goes into her archetypical sales pitch, wanting to know if you would she already understands that you guys, it's pretty well known around the bar that you guys bought the entire third floor for the week. And she wants to know if you'd like to go up to your room or if you'd like to get a hourly room or, etc.
Work. I've never been in a place like this before either, and I mean, never. So what do I do?
Get your back hair braided. Maybe some cornrows, that go down
Yeah, you
from
can
like
make words with
the
it.
back of your neck to the top of your crack ass,
Oh yeah.
Have them braid your name into it so everyone knows who you are.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Have a braid that goes like down my back that's like in script with my name.
Hell yeah.
And it's a long name, so it's impressive that someone pulls it off.
So she thinks that she's or she feels that she's making headway. So for the if you want to keep her for the night in your private rooms, it would charge.
She's already stated that like that 5 gold was like her rate for the week, so it better not be more than 5 gold.
So it would be
She was hustling me and making me feel bad.
Well, that's their job, dude. Their job is to suck you for as much as they can in any way they can.
You're not wrong. But she's already
Yeah.
said it, so now if she tells me it costs more, I'm gonna feel like she's trying to trick me.
So
she gets a portion of the pay.
It would be 2 gold pieces. Now, and from what you learned with Mavis's conversation is that basically out of that 2 gold pieces, she gets to keep 5 silver.
Yeah. But you can give her just the tip if you want.
But Jackson has been suckered thoroughly. He will be a sucker. I'm gonna play him through as a sucker, absolutely.
Okay, so she escorts you up to your private room, and
and you're dead.
No, yeah,
that would be impressive. He might
funny.
not know much about loving, but if she makes an attack, she gonna get a backhand.
I mean, the next morning you might need to make a Constitution check, but no. So now we are going to let me grab just.
Either of my party mates noticed I was getting hustled or stepped in to save me. Whatever, it's cool.
Oh, that's not.
Dentry's clearly smitten by the half orc.
That's dude's palace, tent palace.
Yeah, that's not where I wanted to put you.
We fuck them dudes up.
I want you
What happened?
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Madame Bussard's, and only Borman can see this right now.
Oh,
Madame,
okay.
Madame Bussard's is roughly in this area, which would be considered the Grand Mall of the merchant. Well, rather this area, Grand Mall of the Merchant District, and there is a road, or a there's of course this bridge that crosses between buildings in the Grand Mall, and it goes directly over the Great River, and you can see the river flowing beneath you. And the way the entire Imperial Port is designed so that these buildings are up on concrete, concrete. Maybe that yes or no, but stone, and the river flows underneath it, so that river traffic, usually in the form of either barges or river, it's tall enough that an entire galley can go underneath, and of course flow out to the mouth into the Dragon Sea
Yeah.
should that be needed. But you can see that there's not a lot of river traffic. There is some. You see that there is a boat that is moored, and some of these buildings have little stone docks in what would be considered their basement for receiving river goods, things like that, in the old days. Today, being a thief yourself, you recognize that most of these docks that still exist are for moving illicit cargo. And you only see one river ship, and it's not a river ship. It is a sailing vessel that is moored here. The rest that you see are all wrecked out hulks that have, like, you might see the top of their masts sticking up above the water, but that's about as far as it goes. And then, go ahead.
Yeah, Borman is gonna be making. He's not gonna spend a lot of time studying the river or any of that. He's basically wanting to shoot straight up through the University District and go to the tower.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So moving through the University District, so you come out on essentially what is basically an alley that moves through the University District, and so this portion of the University District is mostly what would be considered kind of like townhomes, and there's a number of smaller manors, but in the old days, this would have been mostly student housing, and there are a number of academies and whatnot here as well in the University District. And some of those academies, just to give you a brief listing, you are talking about things like the Bard's College. There is the ruins of Bilderbrass School of Illusions. There is the Academy of Necromantic Arts.
There's a lot of places that our people are going to want to visit up in here, probably, before we leave this town.
There is the School of Astronomy and Planar Observation, and then there is St. Burton's Theological Academy, that are all listed here in the University District that you kind of make mental note of as you are moving through.
I'm invisible. I'm just really trying to stay. My goal, okay, is to be able to figure out where the doorway to the tower is, so that way I can get here with ease at any time we want and scry back to our room, so all my friends can come through the mirror gateway to the entrance of the tower.
Right. So the easiest way is to take this alley that kind of crosses Scholar Street and moves up Maximilian Circle.
Right.
crosses over Easting Way. So when you cross over Easting Way, you kind of look over to the left. So this is the High District, and
Yeah, that's where the money is.
well, yeah, well, at least it used to be. So rumor around the port is that pretty much everybody says that you talk to will tell you to stay away from the High District, because at one point when the Imperial port was being closed down, the Emperor sent in he hired mercenaries and basically told them to go in and tell everybody to get the F out of the Imperial port. It is closed. You're no longer welcome here. And a good portion of the population obviously did leave. A lot of these buildings that you're seeing, especially the here in the University District, are locked up, boarded up. You don't see a whole lot of people. But what these were hobgoblin mercenaries that he hired, and they ended up fortifying themselves in the High District, and they themselves decided to stay. And so far, they haven't really caused any problems for the rest of the Imperial port. But most of the people in the Imperial port feel like it's only a matter of time. But you notice that there is a red or a kind of like a sandwich board kind of sign, and in very poorly written comment or handelm in red paint, and I'll type this out so that you can get the full benefit of their lack of grammar. So it says, "Attention, Hobgob territory, stay out," and it's spelled like I wrote it out here.
Oh, that reminds me when my kids started writing unintelligent things like that all over their doors and stuff.
Is the gate closed or is it open?
The gate is open, and every now and again, you do notice, in the amount of time that you observe this, you do see that there is a person, looks like a servant, like a maid, and she leaves the district and comes down here and walks into, or goes somewhere in the University District.
See, my goal is to go find the fucking door and not get sidetracked.
But at the
But
end,
that is not Borman's way.
At the end
You know?
of you also note at the end of Maximilian Circle here, there is the kind of a drawbridge type ramp that leads up into what is now known as the Arcane Library, which is attached to the grand vestibule that ultimately leads to the tower.
Okay. Man, a big hobgoblin army. Borman's thinking they've got money, and I bet I could talk my companions into robbing and raping them. Not actual rape, metaphorical rape.
Metaphorical rape.
Yeah.
A financial kind, I guess.
Yeah, financial and killing them. Man, we don't like hobgoblins. The gate's open.
Yeah.
I'm invisible and quiet.
And when you were down here, so this is Main Street, the central gate. Easting Way leads to East Gate, of course, and then there's Main Street that leads to the main gate. And you noted that Main Street isn't closed off either. There's a similar sign there saying, that's Hobgoblin territory and etc. But it's not. The gates aren't closed.
I want to go into the hobgoblin territory.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to go through the.
Here, let me
I want to go through Fasting Way, I guess.
Easting
You
Way,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, Easting Way.
Okay.
Or when I zoom in on it,
Don't
it's
get
got kind of.
kidnapped.
Huh, what did you say?
I said, don't get kidnapped.
Well, I'm
'Cause you won't
invisible
know where the hell you are.
and I'm quiet, and I'm thinking I'm in my leather armor, so I can kind of move,
Okay.
Let me...
and I'm really just, my intention was to do this, and I was really trying not to let anybody do it, but he kept fucking talking, and I
It's not
totally
my fault.
You
blanked on
found
it.
an
Yeah,
intriguing sign.
yeah. But I mean, if I think we could take out the fucking henchman army, that would do a lot for the campaign of establishing Braunhaven, under us. I don't know.
That's true.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, God, man, my fucking goody two shoes ass partners would probably be cool for fucking these people off and stealing their shit. And 'cause that's
That's
Borman's
true.
hardest thing is trying to find a mark that you guys will be cool with fucking off for their treasure.
So Easting Way leads into what would have been considered the residential ward, which pretty much occupies the entire northeastern side of the High District. Mostly, these are high-end townhouses, brownstones, and manors. Looks like at one time the majority of the uber wealthy lived here. Most of these beautiful homes now look like they've been severely vandalized, looted. Um, but there is for the most part the streets are abandoned. But every once in a while, you hear off from an alleyway, you can hear like the sound of hobgoblins kind of laughing, and it kind of echoes through the alleys, and you hear something get knocked over. So you know that there are people living here, or hobgoblins are living here.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't think I know Hobgoblin. No.
It would be the hobgoblin dialect of Pukashal.
Yeah. No. Don't know
Really, you
that.
don't know that?
Well, I'm human. I know thieves.
Yeah, I just thought if you grew up here in like a rough part of town, you might have learned it.
Oh,
Well,
I don't know. I don't think any of us are allowed up in here unless we're
Well,
dead.
yeah, if you probably grew up around the merchant district and maybe the docks district, it would probably have been pretty much hammered into you to not go to the high district.
But I'm not a little boy anymore,
Right,
motherfucker.
right.
Yeah. I
Mm.
need to see. Are there stairs or anything that gets me up to the top of this wall?
Yeah, there's numerous. It is a crenellated wall, and moving up to the top of that wall, you note that there's not a lot, but you do see that there are some hobgoblins that kind of man the wall, but it doesn't look like they're not real attentive. It's not like they are trying to really keep people out all that hard. The wall does go up high enough that you can see over the top of the buildings, and you kind of get a better view. This here, this was kind of the fancy spot for the High District, and it was known as Fountain Park. And originally, it was there was this man-made lake with a grand fountain in the middle of it, and at one time in the long ago, there was a well-manicured park with a minor, small woods. Not, I wouldn't go so far as saying it's as big as a forest, but it was a very pleasant place, and it was kept up by actual druids and rangers. Today, this is basically an overgrown bramble, and of course, this is at night. And it seems that there's a constant mist. You can see bats flitting around in here. Every once in a while, you hear what sounds like a wolf braying in the distance coming from the park. It seems to be a rather unpleasant place. There is a rumor that you heard as a child, that that the park is home to numerous vampire bats. The other thing that you see from up here, over this area here, was originally known as the shopping ward, and it catered to a bunch of small boutique type specialty shops, high end, Gucci, Prada, things like that. Um, and it was known that there was a very famous restaurant called Villanova's Restaurant, and even at night, there was a very, very bad fire in the district. When the hobgoblins came through, they burned one of the buildings down. But standing up on the wall here, you can see that there is a active building over here. You can see what looks like lantern light or torchlight candles coming from inside the building in the shopping ward. And then to the north, to the south, this gate here, this was Southerly Way, and this was more or less the gate that was used by servants. And this area down here, this is Servants Road that ends in Docks Place. Docks Place was the private dock for the High District. A lot of the rich folks would have their own private vessels that would bring in goods that they wanted from Erebachia, or sometimes even as far away as Arentis. But this area unofficially became known as the Servants Ward, or Servants Row, and this was where most of the servants lived that catered to the people that lived in the High District. It is mostly made up of tenement homes, but there are some. There is a small market that is active there even today. Little tent market that the people that still live there, they trade amongst each other or purchase freshly caught fish, things like that. This northern gate, this area up here was known as Reef Gate. And this entire area was kind of the middle class of the High District, and that still would put it way above most people. But this road, or this gate, is known as Reef's Gate because it leads to Reefer's Road, and this road leads to the village of Reef's End on the coast of the Dragon Sea. And Reef's End is notable because everybody knows the story that it was the birthplace of Maximilian Tacidantilus.
Ooh.
Is there a big outlandish house or something that looks lit up?
Yes, this house right here. So, and you would definitely see this house. So this house is in stark contrast to all the buildings around it, and is in stark contrast to the overgrown, brambled lake Fountain Park, because it is not overgrown. Its lawns are perfectly manicured. You see perfectly manicured rose bushes. From where even in the dark you can tell that with the light that is coming out of the numerous windows, this is a mansion, and that it looks like it has had a fresh coat of paint put on fairly recently. Freshly mowed lawn, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. I'm gonna want to get kind of over in this area somewhere, and I want to try to stalk a staff member or somebody.
Okay.
I want to investigate that. I'm just gonna camp, find me a spot out of the way so people won't run me over, and I'm just gonna, is anybody coming?
So yes, you see. To tell you what here's what I wrote. Standing at the southern edge of the wicked and overgrown Fountain Park, This is Elkmere Manor. It stands in stark contrast to its surroundings. Perfectly manicured lawns and well-cultivated rose gardens greet those that enter the wrought iron gates that go around it. And you note that there are several, well, higher than normal. You see that there are several half orcs that are coming and going between Elkmere Manor, and they are going over to the shopping ward, heading towards that building that you saw that had lights in the windows. And you also see that there are a few humans that are also milling about. Most of them, even in the dark, are out tending to the lawn and rose bushes. Make a wisdom ability check. I don't know what Borman's wisdom is. You're muted.
11 is my wisdom, so I did not make it.
So yeah, I mean, it seems very strange to you that these, and they're clearly dressed like servants. There is one gentleman that looks like he might be a butler. He's wearing the full suit, kind of white shirt and black slacks and jacket, and he's out tending to the rose bushes. And you see a number of maids that are out there tending to the grass and flowers. And it's, what, 10 o'clock at night. It's very strange.
It could be vampires or vampire spawn, is what I'm thinking.
And actually, I'll show you what.
I'm not going to be able to talk my people into coming into an undead place.
I can show you. Let's see here.
This will slay some undead with you.
Hold on. Un momento. Oh.
And if we're going there to kill them all.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Man, I mean, God, I'm thinking, just glancing at what I'm seeing here, is I'm thinking there's a vampire dude here, and he's got servants of some kind, and he's keeping this area up, and he's probably running the whole show, of the high district. I gotta think.
So this is what you're seeing as you're seeing this new map, right?
No.
Yeah.
So everybody else is seeing it. Okay, hold on.
Oh,
yeah, we see it.
It just came up for me.
Yeah, that's not what I wanted.
We're supposed to be stuck back at the tavern. Yep.
Right. Because I did. There we go. Now Borman should. So down here, this is what you're seeing. There is this wrought iron fence that goes around the entire property, and there is, of course, a big gate here. Gate's not locked, and are these steps that lead up to the double doors that lead into this large manor, and there are this tiered rose garden, and then there are these flower hedges that go along the front of the building. And it's a very beautiful manor. It's just fucking weird that there's people at 10 o'clock at night that are out tending to these rose bushes.
Yeah, man. The rumors of vampire bats, people out at night.
Obviously, they're vampires if they're out at night.
Uh,
That would have explained my about from the age of 18 to 38.
Are you
Okay,
trying to
well, I've
convince
gotten
us
this
you're not a
information.
vampire?
Yeah, yeah. I've gotten this information, and I don't want to. I don't want to put myself in a position where I want to go talk to my friends before I even attempt to get in here. You know,
Right.
uh, so I guess I just want to back out and go see if I can find the doorway to the tower.
Okay.
If I can, go find the door, and then I can go back to my people and be like, I can, maybe borrow the broom and zoom to the location and then open the doorway from where everyone's at, and we can just go in. That way no one knows what we're doing with our power plays. You know what I mean?
Right. No,
When
I
we when
I
we
gotcha.
travel through the town as an entourage, people look at us and they know what we're doing. If we can just get to what we're wanting to do without all the powers that be knowing what we're doing, then I don't know who's tied politically to who. You know what I mean?
I like
Yeah.
the idea of us being someplace else other than the brothel when we do it, when we
Okay.
do our teleport, only because then, like, oh, we were leaving town and suddenly we were there. Or, oh, we were going to this other place and, oh, people saw us going there. What are you talking about?
Okay. There's all kinds of abandoned buildings we can go claim, I think. I mean,
So moving up to the end of Maximilian Circle, you come to the ground floor entrance of the Arcane Library. So originally, so long time ago, even before the Imperial Port, Tacidantilus constructed his tower. There are people who will tell you that he he constructed the tower in like a single day, and then there's other people who are considered to be more conservative that say that he constructed the tower. It only took him a week, but this is a huge tower, like 4 stories tall, and originally, after building his tower, people from all or magic users and whatnot from all over, arcane magic users from all across the world flocked to the Imperial Port to study under Maximilian Tacidantilus, or to try to learn from him. And he initially had built what is called the Grand Vestibule, and that vestibule led directly into the tower. And it was said that after a time, there were so many people that were coming to study that one, he had a problem in selecting ones that would be his apprentices, but he didn't want to basically shut anybody off from learning, and so he left it open. But there were so many people that he decided to add on to the Grand Vestibule, and that resulted in the 2-story arcane library. So the doors to the arcane library are actually designed. There's this huge door that is usually closed at night, but will reopen in the morning by itself, mind you. And there is this wood ramp, kind of like a drawbridge, that it can be in if there was ever a major assault on the tower or port, that could be raised up to block the door and make it further difficult for anybody to get inside. So that is what you are looking at.
all right. So I know that the place is locked up during nighttime, and in the daytime it opens up.
Yeah, the gates here open again at dawn.
All right. Now, is this place well maintained and everything?
It is, and so there is an unwritten rule. So a lot of people, scholars and researchers and what have you, come from across the world, and they come to the Imperial Port even today. And the unwritten rule is that they're looking for, of course, arcane knowledge or even divine knowledge or artifacts, scrolls, spellbooks. The unwritten rule is that you don't take anything and leave with it. You copy it down and leave it for the next person to find. And so, because
Right.
of that, because it is a usually a higher caliber of people that are coming to the university district, because of that, many of the locations are pretty well maintained. They're they're the build most of the buildings may be boarded up, and a lot of these researchers they will stay in one of the vacated um, tenement buildings that were used by the sororities or fraternities and stay for however long it's going to take them, and then they will clean up after themselves and leave. And so even these buildings that have been vacant for 100 or 200 years are still fairly clean. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like they've got city street crews coming through and cleaning and whatnot, but it's not as bad as some of the other areas that you've been to. It's certainly not as bad as the Docks district.
Okay, so that would lead me to believe that someone's probably in charge of this.
That would
Or it
be
might be.
that would be a good assumption. Yes.
I mean, it being automated, that would be crazy in itself. But do I see any other kind of way that I think that I could get to the tower itself? You know, is his actual house. This is like on one branch of his house, and then the tower is branched off of another part of his house. Is that right?
So there originally, there was on the ground floor. There was a gate in the grand vestibule itself that led in, that would allow more direct access to the tower. So this side here is whoops. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Still on maps. There we go. Oh, kind of. Sorry, my OCD kicked in.
I understand.
There we go. Oh, quite there yet. There we go. So the grand vestibule initially led directly in, and there was a gate on the grand vestibule. You can see where that gate used to be. This in the arcane library, the ground floor, there is a archway that leads into the grand vestibule, but the gate that was initially on the grand vestibule that led into the tower has been bricked up. It is um, it is quite solid, but if the Imperial Port, if the tower was ever to be um, sieged or assaulted, this would be the obvious point where they would, use catapults and battering rams, because anytime you brick up an entrance like that, that is a weak point in the wall. It does
Are
not
there
appear that that has ever happened.
are there windows or anything that maybe I could access?
No.
Solid brick.
Yep.
All right, so the way in's got to be to the thing. I will get me really familiar with somewhere off in the shadow close to this gate bridge,
Okay.
and then I will return and wait for day for my party members. We we're we're not gonna besiege or we're not gonna do any hardcore stuff for the whole week, right?
Yeah, you
Right.
guys are probably so
Yeah.
you're camping out here for the night is your plan?
I'm just gonna
Okay.
kind of chill out, maybe sneak in a place and relax and wait for this to open up uh during the day. So
Okay. So we'll
if
place.
there's Yeah, you say there's all kinds of little buildings and stuff that some are being used and some are not.
Right.
Any place in this general area where I can sneak off and hang out, that is what I'll do
Okay.
till I can get inside.
So I will come back to you in just a moment. So Mavis and so Dentry, pretty much the same thing. This half orc, she comes over and she doesn't, she sits down at your table and is definitely, obviously, flirting with you. Um, how do you want to handle that?
Like, I'm gonna just be like, "You've never seen another half orc who's been treated with any level of respect besides me,"
And
and just be like, "Good."
she kind of chuckles and she says, "Well, I don't." She says, I'm not going to necessarily say that I'm treated with respect, but uh, I get treated better than many."
Lay down the thickest level of like suaveness I can. Be like, well, if you spend the week with me, I promise it'll be all kinds of respect in the most disrespectful way.
and I mean, Mavis can even see this half orc female like kind of blushes, and and she says, "Well, you realize that I have to charge for it."
All right, what's her rate?
So her rate is the same. It is two gold pieces, of which you know that she gets to keep 5 silver.
So it'd be like 14 for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is give her 14 so that she can pay what she got to pay, and when she gets back to the room, I'll be like, "This other 10 is for you."
Okay. Okay. So you're moving on up to your private room.
I want her to be my person to keep with for the week. I want to get to know her real well. By the end of the week, I'm gonna feel like I'm in love with her, and I'm convinced that she's doing this because she likes me too.
Of course.
Whether she
Oh
is or not, I
no.
leave to you. But I am smitten.
So that leaves Mavis, the odd cleric, out.
I mean, I can hang down at the bar for as long as I want to because I'm paying for her for the week. Like she's hanging with me wherever I go, she goes for the week.
That's true. That's true. So Mavis, what are you further getting up to? So I don't know.
I'm
We haven't discussed how Mavis feels about tieflings.
I was kind of apprehensive, but finding out that she treats the workers nicely, like she lets them go and stuff, is pretty cool. So, not like super comfortable, but I'm more comfortable than I was. This is a pretty weird environment to be in, though. I gotta say.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think I'm probably gonna be like drinking water or whatever the equivalent of like Sprite is,
Okay.
and eating a lot, and just trying to talk to people and minister, I guess, a little bit.
Okay.
I
So.
like the old
Maybe I
west where
can
nobody
think,
drinks the water.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty
No.
much.
No. There is water. So
Maybe I should go read somewhere or something so I don't have to be here all the time. Kind of creepy, I guess.
yeah, I mean, you could go back up to your room and read the good book.
I want to finish my meal with my half fork down here. I'm not leaving all that good meat to go to waste. We're gonna devour it in like half fork brutalness.
So
Have fun. Yeah, I'll go read.
She's like, I think I'm gonna go read. This is nasty.
okay, so
I
so
did what I could, man.
so Mavis is gonna go up to her room and read, right?
Yeah, maybe mid. It's gonna be.
Okay.
It'd be great.
So did Borman tell everybody what he was doing, or?
Of course not.
I don't think so.
Oh, I just said, oh, well, I'll get back with you guys later. I'm gonna go look for an angle.
Okay.
And
So yeah, you guys aren't sure if he's back in his room. He slipped on his ring and vanished.
I went full Bilbo.
Right.
Oh.
So Dentry and Jackson roll a d6.
Oh shit.
Which one got the 5?
The 5 was Jackson.
Okay, so Dentry, you're in your private room,
Mm-hmm.
you know, taking a break from the festivities with your paramour here, and
Mm-hmm.
and you're kind of chatting her up, and she the conversation kind of naturally turns to Dentry believing that that she really does like him, and she of course responds with, naturally, she does actually like you. That's what she tells you anyways. But she the conversation gets a bit darker, and she says that she reinstates the tendency that all of the pros that work here are indentured, and they are owned by Madame Bussard for a year, and at the end of the year they are given the option of freedom, and they can leave and do whatever they want, or they are or they can stay on and get and instead of only getting 5 solar pieces, or however much per rate, they can get a half of that, and so it sounds like a good deal. But she tells you that there are some rumors that there is absolutely no escape.
Uh,
No
the
matter
ones who
no matter
leave
what you do.
don't actually leave.
Well, yes and no. So she tells you that she has seen some of them come back, but and there is a rumor though that all of she tells you that she's damned. That all
Damned?
Yeah, she tells you that part of being sold as a slave to Madame Bussard's is that Madame Bussard forever holds her soul.
Sure.
That's uncool.
Oh, well, we know what we're going to be doing next.
If I find out
Gentry's
about
in
it.
love. He's got to save his love now. Now it's a
Oh.
mission of love. Oh yeah, this
Does
beat
killing
can
Madame
go.
Bussard get their souls back, though? I don't think that fixes it.
I mean, if the person who holds your
How do we-
soul is dead,
Who
I guess
does it go back to, I guess, right?
that's a
Yeah,
good
I'm
question.
not sure.
That's a good question. Now we have to find out how to
There's like-
free her.
There's like a religious scholar place somewhere that probably knows the answer.
That is very possible, yes.
Yeah, like the theology college or I think.
Yeah, there is there is
I mean,
yeah,
if she's
St.
mine for the
Burton's
week, if I leave,
Theological
she can come
Academy.
with me, right?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, the academy. So, and she's mine for the week. So, like, if I'm like, hey, I want to wander the town, she's free to come with me, right? I've paid for her for the week.
You would have to ask Madame Bussard if that's okay, but she does tell you that that isn't That has happened before.
Okay. I'll in the morning after, having a little bit more of enjoyment of the night.
Okay. Um,
And once I get back to the party in the morning and I kind of share the details of what I've learned.
okay. All right. So back to the arcane library. So the sun starts to come up, Gorman, and like just as soon as you can see that sun poking up over the edge of the Imperial port, you can hear the stirrings of what sounds like chains raising this immensely 15-foot wide gate, and it kind of retracts up into the the ceiling, and you have access to the arcane library.
Heading on in.
Okay,
That's
so
for sure. I'm gonna want to make my way. I want to see if I can get in the grand vestibule. Is what I want to kind of do.
okay, hold
I'm gonna
on.
kind of head that way.
Well, just wait, just a second. Um,
Oh, boo.
uh, oh, I know why it's. I
The ones
know.
who think they're free get eaten by the vampires.
That's
Not that I know about vampires.
right. That's
There
I don't
true.
is
know
a
anything about people
necromancy.
attending to
Yeah,
gardens in the middle of the night yet.
yeah. Well, we're gonna have a big meeting in the near future. I think where we talk about all the things we've play, show, and tell.
So
What's
this
my gobliness's or what's my half-orc's name? What's her name?
is a very good question. Let's see here. Her name is.
Generate a name. I gotta call her something. If I'm in love with her, she has to have a name.
Yes. I agree.
Sassy.
Her name is
Peppermint.
Peppermint.
That's
Yeah.
not a very orky name, but it's fun.
Oh shit! That makes me
Please tell
fucking
me it's Peppermint.
die. Oh fuck.
Maybe when she's free, I can learn her real name. But for now, Peppermint it
Yeah, there
is.
you go.
Yep. Yeah. It has to be Peppermint. I'm sorry. Oh shit. I used to work at
That was too
Spearmint Rhino.
perfect.
So this entry gate, the ramp, like I said, can be pulled up, and there's this enormous 20-foot tall. Uh, wait, is this? Oh, these are 10-foot squares. So it's a 20-foot tall by 25-foot wide gate that retracts into the wall each morning at dawn. And you step into this section of the arcane library. You see that there are these are gas lamps that are lit. And you can see down the hall there are small lanterns on each of the tables. Some are lit, some are not. And they provide all the light for the inside of the library. And these are floor to ceiling bookshelves. They are essentially two-story bookshelves. The ceiling in here is probably at least 10 feet, and there is a ladder on brass rollers that in numerous spots that goes around. And you see one of the most peculiar things you have ever seen before. I need to find something for this. Come on. There we go. Let's see. Oh, come on. Mhm. This will work. you see the wispy, uh, ghostly form of a woman that is tending to the library books and scrolls and kind of cleaning up stuff that has been left over on tables and putting them back where they're supposed to be, and she is just kind of floating around. But the thing that most immediately strikes you is that you realize you are looking at a ghost, but you are not you do not feel that imminent fear that you would normally get seeing a ghost.
Are there other people coming in?
Not yet.
Not yet. Um. ah, I think I'm just gonna continue to if the ghost is paying me no mind, why should I pay it any mind? I'm trying to find a way into the grand vestibule, so I think I want to just try to creep my way on to see if there's a way I can access the grand vestibule from here.
Okay, so you also see in this section that there are these two uh, stairwells that lead up to the second floor here, but you can move your exploration movement rate.
Okay, so I can go the full bit, 90, I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can get like what about in here, real quick.
So in
Hidden-
here you see another ghost.
Oh, it's full of ghosts.
And you can make a wisdom ability check.
Nope.
So yeah, once again you see another ghost in here that is tending to the bookshelves, kind of cleaning up tables. And you do notice that she's like literally cleaning the tables, like polishing the wood. It seems that this ghost is a stickler for cleanliness.
Yeah, yeah, that it pays me no. It's none of my business. Not gonna fuck with the undead. I just saw my friend get zapped.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm,
again, you don't feel that imminent sense of fear like you would from a normal seeing a ghost. Usually, a ghost automatically spreads out a aura of fear
right.
that requires a save versus spells, but you're not getting that that fight or flight feeling at all.
I
It's
feel
just
you.
They're doing boring stuff too.
I mean, yeah. I'm not. I'm just scouting, and part of scouting is not interacting, and so I'm moving on.
that's how
We could.
that's how thieves end up being dead, is interacting while scouting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can move
Yeah.
your exploration movement, right?
What about in here? Headed to the grand vestibule.
Okay, so in here, are fucking dismal. Well, that works.
And the player in me thinks these are ghosts that will just provide information and things like that. Uh,
So in here, you see yet another ghost tending to the library, um, and you can make another wisdom ability check.
no.
No, you have no idea. So yeah, she's just putting books back. You can move your exploration movement right.
This is a gate or something right here.
It's an archway.
I'm going right through it then. Let's 1, 2. I can get right up to it.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. While I add yet another map. Come on now. There we go. So you come you come into the grand vestibule. So this area, right here, a large spiral staircase kind of dominates the area. And again, you can see that there are a number of these what appear to be like gas lamps that are providing a dim light so that you can, not trip over yourself. And right here, you see that there is a set of double doors. You can go ahead and make another wisdom ability check.
Hey, I made it.
Okay, so these double
I'll be coming over
doors,
here, I guess.
these double doors are, you can tell that they would lead into the tower, but the strange thing about this, what languages do you speak?
I know the thieves can't. Common. I think that's it because I only have an 11 intelligence. I don't get bonus.
Okay, so these doors are covered in runes, in a flowing script. You can recognize what it is, but you can't read it. And you recognize that the runes are Solven, and they are written in Elvish. And the thing that is peculiar about these doors is that the doors are actually made. You can tell that the wood that they're made of is wood that was sourced from the Solvanus forest. And so, under normal conditions, it would be elves would be very pissed off at this, but and
Cool.
you find it weird that Maximilian Tassadantulus would use wood sourced from the Sylvanus, but apparently, I mean, the doors appear to be in good condition. It doesn't seem like anybody was pissed off about it. You also see that there are 3 rooms on this ground floor as well.
Does this door have a place where I can put the 2 keys that we have?
It does not.
I should bring Mavis back here with the helm of read all languages at some point.
Yeah, I need to get my party in here. Is what I need to do. Or maybe I need to go. Yeah, I'm not just gonna go explore the tower. I mean this. I'm not gonna explore too much of this. I found where the way to the tower is. There's ruins and stuff. Look at this door. Is it locked?
The tower door?
Yeah.
Hmm. It is locked.
Does it have a keyhole?
It does.
Bunch of ruins though. I have no idea what the fuck it's saying, but I think it's in Elvish.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to pick the lock.
Roll a d4.
Oh, 2.
Okay. Hold on here. There is a flash of light, and you reappear on the second floor of the arcane library.
Yeah, this is something that needs to be done in a party role play thing where we talk to the ghosts and all that. I'm just going to return to our base.
Okay, so you're going back to the brothel. Okay.
Yeah, magic teleporting, no damage. Yeah, I see that I need that script read and things like that to proceed. I've gotten information. On my way back, I do want to, can I do a quick stroll by and see if the undead people are out doing yard work at
Yeah,
Vampire
so
Place?
as you do your quick stroll by Elkmere Manor, you can see that not only are there are different servants out there working, you see that there's a number of hobgoblins that are out there manicuring the roses and washing windows and putting fresh paint on Elkmere Manor. They're acting quite domesticated for hobgoblins.
They're charmed, man. I'm telling you. There's a fucking
Probably.
vampire in there. I feel it. I feel it. I feel undead shit. And that scares the fuck out of me. I'm headed back to the yeah.
Okay,
This
give me 1
information.
second. I'll be right back.
I'm gonna grab a snack.
Yeah, I've got to pee. Going to my favorite place, the urination.
Okay, I am back. So, oh, Cameron stepped away. Okay, give her a moment.
So I was wondering if I got like 4 or 5 friends, right?
Mhm.
And we got the I forgot whether it was the Backstreet Dudes or the NSYNC dudes, but if I got the Baby Bye 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 routine down with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
where we could half-ass sing it and pop it, and we randomly went into locations, right? Do you think most places like stores and restaurants would interrupt the act, You know, or do you think they would let just one
Just
quick
let it
song
go.
play out and what the fuck, right? You know, and then if we take the premise that they would let let you get one out, what happens if like towards the end of it, right? One dude steps out of line, and then the front man obviously is like, "Man, Jose, man, we've practiced this. Get it right from the top." And how many times of Jose fucking up at the same place in the loop will it take before we get interrupted and has to leave?
Depends
Yeah.
how good you're doing it up until that point, I think.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're popping it and going down, man, I think most places will let you squeeze 2 or 3 out.
I think you're
But
gonna at least get through the first F up, and then the
yeah,
second one they're like, hey, y'all gotta go.
yeah. But the second or third time, the dude's like, "Damn it, Jose, from the top."
Yeah, I think the second from the top is where they're gonna step in.
Yeah.
But I love that you would get through one whole thing and then from the top at least once. I love that would probably
That
happen.
would probably happen. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on where you're going too. I mean, because if you go in and you start that stuff at a fancy place,
Oh, they're
I
kicking
bet
you out
they would
within
be,
10 seconds.
yeah, I bet they'd be quick to say, "Hey, whoa, this ain't the place for that. Y'all need to kick your ass up out of here." But like, Walmart, hey, the manager's probably wondering what the fuck is going on for at least 2 songs.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get through a couple at a Walmart. I mean, you go into a McDonald's lobby, you'll probably at least get through 2 times because they'll just be
Yeah.
looking at you going, "This is what?" Okay.
Yeah, what the hell? Let me get my cell phone out. So,
Mhm.
yeah. The bank might be quick to shut you down, though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, even if we
Definitely.
love it, is this are you trying to distract us or something? Is this some ploy?
Yeah, and definitely the federal courthouse building would be quick to shut you down.
Oh shit. Yeah.
You
Sir, you
know?
can't do that. You can't do that here. This is a
Yeah, what?
courthouse.
Yeah, yeah. Just random locations. How you get good at the end of it, though. I mean, you'd be able to really fucking get, baby, bye, 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 and everybody be like, hell yeah, look at them, they're good, but they suck.
So yeah, the other thing that I found funny at the Umatilla County Fair is that they had one uh, area set up, and the sign, you saw the picture. The sign was axe throwing and laser tag, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
"Holy shit!" They take their fucking their laser tag like to a medieval level here in Hermiston. That's some serious shit.
Wow.
I just had this image of a techno Viking with a laser tag gun in one hand and a throwing axe
hell
in the other, like.
yeah.
I'll get you one way or the other, you sumbitch.
Oh goodness.
So the probably about midday, Borman returns. You guys, Mavis, Malachi, Alora, Jackson, and Dentry all kind of had um, their powwow, and I would assume, now that you didn't know where Borman was, it was either the door to his room was still closed, so maybe he was, sleeping in. But he finally returns, and you guys have a chance to have a meeting in one of your private rooms to kind of go over what y'all separately found out.
I definitely want to talk about the undead palace, and that I did go and I saw what I believe is the door to Tantalus's tower, but I did not see a place for us to put the scepter and the rod. Uh, but it had some crazy, look like Elvis script shit on the door to get in the tower. But again, I think there's a vampire that lives in the mansion in the High District.
Entry is practically banging on Mavis's door, first crack of dawn, like, Mavis, I need to talk to you, Mavis. Mavis, Mavis.
Are you bringing Peppermint with you?
No, I don't want to be too I don't No, I bring Mavis back to my room.
Okay. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, Mavis gets woken up. Dentry's in tizzy and takes you back to the room. And he then, of course, he and Peppermint kind of relate what Peppermint believes. But Peppermint,
Do I? Okay.
yeah, Peppermint's under the. She seems to honestly believe that she's damned and that it doesn't matter, what happens to her now because her soul is forever forfeit. Is essentially what she tells Mavis. And she
Do I know
tells
if
you
that's like
all of the slaves, whether they're prostitutes or not, they all have the same kind of deal. Even the kitchen staff and some of the bar staff, they're all indentured servants. And the deal is that once they're freed, what she heard from somebody who returned was that their souls are forfeit. That Madame Bussard holds their immortal life, their souls in her hand.
And do I know if that's possible or anything about how that works?
Mavis, make a. Of course, you would ask that. That is a very good question. Let me look at Cleric.
Like I'd assume I know, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't.
your prime requisite is wisdom. Go ahead and make a wisdom ability check. Did you make it?
I'm gonna need to consult. No, I got a 17 and my wisdom's 12, so I might have to ask somebody. I will research this for Dentry and Peppermint.
So yeah, what
you might be able to try to pull off a ritual commune meditation thing and get mystical answers.
That's true.
Yeah.
So okay, now I need
Sounds
to.
like fun.
What level is Mavis? I know she's up there.
Like 8th?
8.
Right?
You are
Yeah.
you are level 8. Let me.
I should know more shit than I do, frankly.
Where is it? Well, there is the commune spell, and at level 8, you could cast a commune spell. You have 1/5 level spell slot. So commune.
Okay.
What commune does, for anybody that doesn't know, commune, it lasts for 3 turns. The range is you, the caster. The caster calls upon divine powers in order to seek knowledge. The caster may ask 3 questions per casting. Once per year, the caster may instead ask 6 questions. Each question receives a simple yes or no answer, and commune may only be cast once per week. If the referee feels this spell is being overused, its usage may be limited to once per month. Yeah, they're yes or no questions. So you have not cast this before. If you wanted to, this could be your once per year option. You could ask 6 yes or no questions of your god.
I think I'll probably be fine with 3.
Okay.
I think 3 will do it.
Okay.
I want to ask if Peppermint is correct that Madame Bussard owns all the souls of people who work here in lab.
Yes.
Is there a way to give them ownership of their souls back?
Yes.
Does killing Madame Bussard give them their ownership of their souls back?
No.
Damn.
Okay. Well, there's a way. We just have to find it. And luckily, there's lots of good libraries. So
yeah, there's an entire district full of knowledge that potentially can tell you how to go about this.
Somebody will know. It'll be all right.
Does own their soul.
She'll love you after this, even if she doesn't now.
Right.
A lot of shit to go through.
We're not gonna know. I will save you, Peppermint. We will be together.
Fucking Peppermint. Oh my god.
Man, she could probably learn to beat some ass. Like she's probably got some combat skills from being a hooker, don't you think?
You would think, right?
Yeah,
A half
man.
orc
Yeah.
hooker, she's got to be able to fucking beat somebody's ass.
Yeah. So you should start getting ready to
Be
get your
great.
character sheet ready for her there,
I,
Brian. Haha. Yeah.
yeah,
Peppermint
yeah.
Patty.
Add
Yeah.
add Peppermint to the
To the,
party.
to the party roster.
if we if we get a new player, here you get to play Peppermint.
Yeah, you are
Yes.
Peppermint. You were a hooker.
I'll play Peppermint too if it comes down to it. That'd be fun. Playing like a woman.
yeah, I would think Peppermint would probably start out as like probably a fourth level fighter,
Yeah.
or maybe just
Cool.
fourth level half orc. Because I mean, half orc really, if you pick half orc as a class, they're kind of the mix of like a fighter and a thief. They've got a lot of
Oh.
thieving skills.
Cool.
They
Is there a
do.
barbarian class?
There is.
There is.
And in Braunhaven, you can be a half orc can be a barbarian, and I will specify that page 91 of the campaign
Barbarian
guide.
war.
So
Well, I guess you're gonna have to determine what was her backstory. How did she end up in slavery in the first place?
So normally, half orcs in Old School Essentials are barbarian is not on their class list, but in Braunhaven, they can take barbarian and can reach up to 10th level. So that could be an option too. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about Peppermint. I don't think that Peppermint. I mean, Peppermint might be a barbarian, but she's not of the temperament of a barbarian, and she's a little bit smarter than that. I would think that she's probably the half orc class.
I mean, I love the
Oh, okay.
backstab ability, hide in shadows, move silently, pick pockets.
Right.
Love that stuff.
That's gonna be a very fun one for you to play, Cameron. I think you're gonna enjoy that.
That'll be cool.
You get someone who can do some bruising damage now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could
Yeah,
be.
that's true. And not have to stay in the back all the time and heal people. Yeah.
I'll have to go and create a character portrait for Peppermint with her chainmail bikini.
All right. So I make this promise to help them.
Okay.
And then Borman comes in and tells us there's vampires and stuff. And I'm all excited about that too, because I love to vanquish evil. That's always fun.
Right.
Just
I mean, you know.
rolling with my holy symbol. That would go over really well.
So yeah, I mean, he relays the entire story about the weird servants out there at 10 o'clock at night. It's already dark. They're out there manicuring the lawn and the bushes, and then in the morning there were also hobgoblins that were out there also doing all of this yard work in an area of the city that is, for the most part, deserted, with the exception of a few what are referred to as servants. But if they're a part of the hobgoblin horde, then they, clearly would be more on the slave level. But there's all sorts of weird stuff going on in the High District.
You guys want to go straight for the tower, or do you want to?
Well, I mean, you
we
got
should
some
look
options
around.
if you want to go to the University District is on your way. You could stop by St. Barton's Theological Academy.
That's,
Well,
I think we need to do a
that's
lot
what I
more
should do.
research. We have to at least get everything we can, all the knowledge before the end of the week. Because once Alora's back up and running, we got to.
So the
Hammer, man.
downside of this, of course, is, I mean, Alora would have to stay behind. Both Alora and Malachi would have to stay behind because they are doing a week-long.
Well, I think we're gonna investigate the whole week and try to stay out of anything. But I mean, man, souls being held hostage. the party that we're in, and Malachi's been like, "What? We can hold soul sausage? Oh, I would like to learn about that." Just for educational purposes, of course. God. So I'm just saying, Malachi would want to deal the souls thing first. Borman would probably think that the way to go is to go in the tower because that's where the fucking treasure is. Obviously, we should find out how to get in the tower.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say that you can't go to directly to the tower, and you could theoretically go and complete your main mission, and then come back and do some of the side stuff later. That's a possibility too. I mean, the Imperial Port isn't going anywhere.
Right. I'm just, Jackson's talking about, was it Jackson or Dentry that has the half-orc fuck buddy?
Dentry.
Gentry.
Dentry, yeah. Dentry's probably wanting to free Homegirl's soul, is what I would think.
This is probably the most excited you've seen Dentry outside of combat since.
Yeah. Yeah. And I gotta think, Mavis would definitely frown upon the idea of people's souls being done up.
Yeah, Mavis would be rather upset about this.
And Malachi would want to learn how to do it. So he's definitely want to follow that thing, is what I'm thinking. I'm not sure how Jackson or Laura would feel. Borman would be okay with freeing people's souls if we must. But, we definitely want to make a move on the treasure afterwards, what Borman would be like, So
that door teleported you out, so I'm not really worrying about anybody else getting to it before us, because that's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And they don't have the loop and structure.
I think the way forward on the tower is to go talk to the ghosts. But,
Okay.
that I think if we want to learn how to get the tower, we could go talk to the ghosts. I'm afraid if we show our cards at the tower saying, "Hey, we believe we know the puzzle and we have it solved with these items," right? Then that might start a string of events that interrupt our week hiatus that,
Agreed.
our guys are
We do not want to start the main stuff until the week is done.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think if we can start out with investigating the soul bit, then if stuff starts getting fucked up, at least Alora and Malachi are here,
Right?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, if we want to investigate that while they study or what, read books, boring stuff.
Did you guys? Did you guys get a Rod of Resurrection?
I think so.
I vaguely remember that you might have.
I don't have it in my list of stuff, but that'd be something that Mavis would have.
We have a Rod of Lordly Might, a Rod of Parrying.
I think you got 2 rods of parrying, if I remember.
Yes, I have a rod of parrying in the bag of shit I got to deal with.
Maybe it was a scroll of resurrection. I think it was the scroll of resurrection because you actually used it to bring Alora back after she was turned into a puddle.
Mavis has raised dead, though, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think I got a scroll of it, and I could ask for that spell.
Because if you've got a scroll, it's similar to what we were talking about with Malachi. You could leave that scroll of raised dead with either Alora or Malachi, so that if things go pear-shaped, they could come find you, and theoretically the pattern would be to raise Mavis, who then could raise somebody else. You know what I mean? The old video game standard.
That's a great idea.
The old video game standard of, this will raise the healer, and then once you raise the healer can raise somebody else, take a nap, raise somebody else, take a nap,
Yeah.
So I will do that. I will leave that scroll behind with her.
Okay.
And then I want to go to the theological school, learn more.
Okay, so we've got Dentry. So Dentry, are you going to request that Peppermint come along with you?
Just if we're gonna be just like walking about town and learning information and stuff, sure. I'm just like, I'm gonna go to Madame Bissard and be like, I don't think I can part with this one. She's far too enjoyable. I have to keep her with me.
Roll
With your permission, I'd love to wander the town with her.
roll 2d6 plus 5.
6 + 5.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was 1d6.
Yeah. So that's a
I
10
got
total.
10.
Yeah, so Madame Bissard, she, you come downstairs and you see Madame Bissard come out of the door to her office, and she's kind of talking to the bartender at this particular bar, and you come down and Peppermint, for if you can imagine an half orc standing behind you, acting, demure. And I'm trying to imagine a half orc doing that. But anyways, she, Madame Bissard, is like, yeah. I mean, you paid for the week, and she can escort you around the town. She says, I would prefer it if you didn't leave the merchant district, though. And she just
That's not
leaves that
very
hanging.
fun. And we're definitely
Say
planning on leaving the
okay
merchant
once
district,
we're
right?
out.
You
I don't
can
know.
you can roll roll a wisdom ability check.
No.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you failed that. You're like, oh, well, that sucks. I mean,
Well-
you have no insight into this whatsoever.
I was like,
when,
well, what's it gonna cost? I mean, damn.
when he's doing all that, can Borman be invisible and have
Yeah.
and he would like to ask Malachi to cast Pass Undead on him
Okay.
before he does this.
Okay.
So the Pass Undead would that stops me from being seen by undead too, even afterwards, because we're being spooky. But I want to follow the tiefling wherever the hell she may fucking go. Right after that conversation of leaving the merchants district and all that, I want to follow her and listen to whatever the fuck she has to say.
So she kind of when Dentry says, "Well, how much is that going to cost?" She perks up and she says, "Well," she says, "You know what? For another 15 gold pieces, I'll let you take her anywhere you want to go, as long as you don't leave the Imperial Port." So within the confines of the Imperial Port, for 15 gold pieces, she can leave with you. She can leave the merchant district and go to other districts.
I've got a girlfriend. I've got a girlfriend. Now I can see what you guys keep blabbering about relationships and companionship. This is amazing.
So, all right, hold on. Let's see. Now that she's becoming a real player.
I have taken her off of I've taken the gold off.
Okay. Well, here we go.
It's an expensive
Hey man,
love.
if anything, we can equip her with a wheelbarrow and get a lot of use.
Right?
I mean,
Hattie the wheelbarrow pusher. I'm joking. I mean, we're
no.
obviously going to want her to fight. But
She'd be happy to do that after working here. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Anyway, you mean you're gonna have me do something that doesn't involve laying on my back? I'm in.
Well, I mean, we had our big powwow about everything, and so I mean, if we're, Borman's gonna follow this tiefling around as much as he can, and
I'm just gonna go read probably and talk to people. Right?
the brains will be up in the room studying and reading, and then what I think you guys are gonna go to the library, the arcane library, and read.
Yeah, and try and find out if there's a way to get people's souls back.
Because I definitely will tell you about the library, and it appears to be something opened up for knowledge. You can go there and read. There's some ghosts. If you fuck with a door, you get teleported.
That's good to know. I'll bring the helm though for the door if we end up there.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fucking sexy, dude.
Oh, you're rolling her stats?
Yeah. Well, her stats and her image.
So you're got a high degree of confidence that we can free this young lass.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
We're gonna try.
Right,
she's level 4.
right fail at the wrong
Yeah.
time.
She's down with the sickness.
Yeah, Dentry's gonna get his muscle mommy.
She has to have been pretty badass because then I'm like, I'm smitten. She's the most half-orkiest half-orc I've ever half-orked.
Wish I knew this fucking tiefling stat block. If I could get her in a corner and gank her, one punch man her, blam. But I'm afraid what will happen is I get my, I shoot my shot and fuck around, and then she mops the floor with my ass because she's meant for a party and not a solo fighter thief.
She is strong enough to have a bunch of souls bound to her.
Man, now the player in me's thinking Lich. Lich Hood is afoot, but
Here is Peppermint.
Oh, Peppermint.
Damn, Peppermint.
Dang. Good for you, honey.
Man, we are gonna get some motherfucking glowy gems and make sure that her little nippy bits get protected with glowy gems. Because diamonds that flash and shine light and blink. Definitely, that would lower her AC if we just protect her nipples.
Oh.
Other than the hit points, she is beast mode.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so, here
She gets a token.
she does.
And she's lawful. How did we manage to get a character out of all of this?
Right?
We role played. Yeah. You
That's
fucking
right.
took the time to shop for whores and shit. Most players don't do that except for adolescent teens. Whereas
Right.
adolescent teens are like, well, we're just going to spend all our gold here at the whorehouse, and we would like to role play the sexual encounters.
No, but I knew the moment we ended up here, I was gonna have Gentry fall for someone, and when he said there was a half orc, I was like, oh, he has to fall for her. He
You're
has
there.
to.
So is Mavis or is Cameron running Peppermint, or does Dentry want to run, or Brian? Who wants to run?
Cameron, it's got to be Cameron.
Okay.
Just forgive me for the role play
Okay, I'll do
portion of
it.
it, Cameron.
So Cameron should have control of Peppermint.
Okay, cool.
Peppermint, the half for cooker.
So, so
I'm
yeah,
preparing for
you
my
know,
heart to be broken when it turns out that Peppermint doesn't actually love me. It's okay.
I think she'll be grateful enough to stick around no matter what. That's my guess.
yeah, I mean, 15 gold. You throw it on the counter, and Madame Bissard scoops it up, and she finishes, basically telling the bartender that they need to order more, whatever, and she goes into her back office.
Gonna,
All right, let's go to the
yeah.
college.
Okay.
Borman's gonna try to follow her into the office.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He is investigating her. So as she makes her move, he will move with her and try to get into the office.
Go ahead and make a dexterity ability check. Oh
I
wow.
made it.
Okay.
Bam. Borman. Da-dun-na, da-dun-na, da-dun-na.
So you see
Magic boots.
in this office, it is a the door leading in here is darkly stained, and there is a large plush area rug that covers most of the office floor, and she has some dark stained shelves that have various sundries that you would expect for running a tavern or a tap room. There's various things here, and stepping on the rug, you realize that it is incredibly soft and very rich. You estimate that this rug could be worth upwards of 2,000 gold pieces sold to the right buyer.
Man, I bet it could roll up and fit in a bag of holding. Oh,
Maybe. There is, of course, a dark-stained desk that is covered in papers that mostly look like they are ledgers concerning business dealings of the brothel. There are a couple of different ink pots, and an ink pen rests on the desk. And there is a drawer to the desk that sits about, waist height. And she is sitting in this plush, high-backed red leather chair as she starts going over these ledgers.
okay. I will watch.
Okay.
Yeah. That is
She's
all
doing
I'm.
math
Yeah.
menacingly.
Well, I mean, I'll kind of peep over and look, at what she might be writing or whatnot. But I
So
mean, I'm
mostly
really just.
what she's writing in the ledger is that she basically received 15 gold for Peppermint's escort services, and then she sets the pen down and she reaches around her neck, and there is a chain with a number of keys, and she takes one of the keys off the chain. It's a smaller key, and she unlocks the desk drawer. Roll a wisdom ability check.
I sure do.
Okay.
I'm wise.
She opens the
Mormon's
drawer.
in thief mode.
She opens the drawer, and in the drawer there is a leather pouch that she opens, and immediately you can see that inside the leather pouch are a number of rubies. And she drops the 15 gold pieces in the pouch, and she cinches it up. You also see that is inside the desk there are a number of brass plaques that are stacked on top of one another that are attached with what looks like a small brass hook. And so these can be these brass plaques can be lifted up and kind of folded out into a articulated plate. And on the brass plaque, you can see that there is some kind of writing, like it's engraved into the plaque. And you can roll an intelligence ability check.
Yes, I'm
Damn.
smart, motherfucker. I'm in thief mode, Borman.
So
Dun-dun.
you you can't read what it says, but you recognize that the language on the brass plaque, and she doesn't lift them up. There's just one on top that you can see, is Malum and Ferris. It is the dark speech of the chaotic alignment. And you see like 3 stacks of these things, and there are probably like 5 or 6 deep.
Wow.
Okay.
And then she shuts the
Okay.
door, locks it, and puts the key back on the chain around her neck.
Okay. Well, I'm just I'm just doing my thing and observing, and I'm going to, I'm going to follow her around and observe her day. I'm going to be her shadow. Shadow
Okay.
Borman.
So
Yeah.
after a bit, she gets up and she you follow her out of the office, and she. I mean, if you're going to follow her for the entire day, then the rest of the party will be going to the academy without you.
That's fine.
Okay.
I am
Yeah.
following her around, you know, and I'm trying to figure out what she's got going on or whatever, you
Okay.
know. I probably won't take a big great chance like if she goes in that secret room up there today,
Right.
it really depends on the posturing of those two guards, on if I'll go in there or not. But
Right.
I'll definitely try to look, you know. But my fingers are not going to be sticky right now. I'm just going to do my best to be low impact. Follow her around. I want to listen to her conversations. And really, really figure out what the fuck might be going on here.
Okay.
Uh, you know,
Okay. Hold on, just a moment.
I've got my two spell casting friends around. You know, so
In an emergency, yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm saying when the shit hits the fan, I'm not totally by myself, but I'm really not trying to take many chances. I think I have a good shot of fucking picking that lock and taking whatever's out of that desk if I wanted to. But I mean, God, that's a high risk thing because then does
Well,
she
she's
notice?
alive anyway.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, she's gonna get fucked off. I see that coming. Hell yeah. It's just when, where, how, and who is is the bit. I mean, I foresee her death coming. She's selling souls. She's got to die. I mean, we're adventurers,
Yeah.
damn it. Come on.
I agree.
Maybe she's just hoarding them in her desk and we can get them back. I don't know.
I think those
But you're
nameplates.
right. You're probably right.
Yeah, we're adventurers. We can't let this stand.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I
If it
mean,
is what it looks like.
sex trade, souls. I mean, what else do you need? Trafficking little kids? I mean,
Right. So Dentry, Mavis, Jackson, and Peppermint make your way to um, St. Burton's Theological Academy the um, in the University District.
Awesome.
I
And
thought y'all were going to the arcane library to look at that book collection.
I thought you were going to
We're
the
stopping by here.
yeah, I thought you were going to
This
the
is on the
academy.
way over there.
True.
Yeah, you could do both. That's right.
So
Is
the
there anybody at the
the way
function?
the grounds of the Theological Academy are set up, there are two kind of areas. The first is where Mavis is entering here, is the the Hall of the 12 Elder Gods. Hold on here. I need my other map? So many maps. And so this area that Mavis has walked into, this is the Hall of the 12 Elder Gods. This is more more geared towards clerics because it is of the new faith. And there is a 15-foot tall ceiling. Everything is pretty much made of white marble, and there are these open arches at the north and south end of the hall. And there are 6 pillars that run through the center, and they are lit. There are marble pillars that run floor to ceiling, and each pillar has 4 brass sconces. Excuse me, with lit torches that cast a soft light into the hall. You do note that even though there's a slight breeze today moving through these open arches, the flames of the torches don't seem to flicker. In the center of this hall, you see that there is a short 3-foot tall pedestal with an image of an angel atop it that stands at the north, and these pedestals stand at the north and south ends of the chamber. Now, off of these, there are these little side areas, and each of these side areas are study alcoves. And you see that each area has 3 bronze statues, and each of these bronze statues depicts a different one of the 12 elder gods. Let's see here. Southwest is Janus, Festus, and Maricus. Southeast is Aepus, Massus, and Janau. Northwest is Julius, Agaron, and Septum, and northeast is Octus, Navius, and Decus. And each of these little study alcoves have bookshelves with a number of books in them, obviously of ecclesiastical study. As you step in, you note that the sound, of course, boots on white marble. If you've ever walked through a mausoleum, it's quite echoey. You could wear Nikes and it's going to echo. But you note that the sound coming from these alcoves seems to be muted. So like even normal speech would almost become like a quiet whisper. But in the middle of this chamber, chained to an angelic pedestal by chains with barbs on them, you see, and Mavis immediately recognizes him, or recognizes it, is an archon. Now, archons are an angelic creature, and it is bleeding. It is chained up with these barbed chains. It is basically whatever fight went on, it lost, and it is chained to this central pedestal. The other thing that Mavis knows about archons is that they are basically the lawful of the lawful, and they are lawful to the point of being fucking annoying, even to other lawful characters. It's like, oh my god, are you really going to nitpick about that? They will nitpick about everything. They are the hammer of judgment for the gods. And this guy is chained in the middle here.
Well, no wonder he got beat up. It's really annoying. Okay,
Right?
1 square is 5 feet. Okay. I will try to help.
So the way I put it said Archons are the epitome of lawful alignment, with the sole reason of their existence being to combat the forces of chaos. They have no tolerance for those of neutral alignment and will actively seek out and destroy those of chaotic alignment. He has the head, arms, and torso of a large, muscular man with the lower body of a giant eagle. His wings are covered in golden feathers, though they have been badly clipped and are bleeding.
Wow. Okay. They need some healing, I'm sure then.
So,
Is there anybody else around?
No.
Okay.
But
Like before we go into like heal it.
he thanks you profusely and recognizes that Mavis is a cleric. He tells you that his name is Kabshiel.
Okay. And get 6 points back in case they're at like 1 or something.
He tells you...
Abshiel?
Yes, Kabshiel. Kabshiel. And he tells you that he was sent to the Prime Plane to locate a holy object. He was searching for the Holy Sword of Saint Gloust. And he admits in his zeal, he was tricked and bound here in the chapel hall. He tells you that he was tricked by Lady Elkmere.
Do we know that name?
You know Elkmere Manor, which is where the servants and the hobgoblins were manicuring the lawn.
Oh.
He also tells you that
Okay.
he had done battle with Segluloth, who is a screaming demon, and he trapped him in the Hall of the Old Gods.
They're trapped in there?
Yeah, the screaming demon is trapped in the Hall of the Old Gods. He says that they battled to a stalemate.
Oh, shit.
What can he tell us about the I won't even, yeah. I'll let you run this one, man, just because we like neutral. He don't like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were coming here to try and find out how someone could get ownership of their soul back from the Keypoint. Does he know where to find out, or does he just know it offhand, or know nothing about it?
So he tells you, as you're trying, or are you freeing him or just healing him?
Yeah. I'm not just like asking questions and not helping.
Okay, so you're kind of undoing these barbed chains, and you note that these chains look infernal. They're completely infernal. They're obviously the work of something demonic or devilish, fiendish, and he tells you as you're freeing him that the only way to free somebody's soul, he says that a mortal wouldn't be able to hold the soul of another mortal. But he says what you're describing sounds like that a devil is probably somewhere in the works here, and that they are the ones that are actually holding the souls. And usually the way that works is the individual's name is carved onto a brass plaque, and if those brass plaques are destroyed, then you will free their soul from being held by the devil.
Awesome. Okay. And then the screaming demon, does he want to bail, or does he want us all to try and kill it with him?
He would definitely prefer to put the screaming demon down, yes, and he would accept any assistance given, even from the unclean neutrals.
I mean, I
You
imagine
say
we would
neutral.
probably have an easier time getting all those chains off than Mavis over here is probably getting burned by the chains because they're pure evil.
Peppermint's lawful.
Yeah, peppermint's lawful.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
lawful.
Peppermint
That's
the
true.
lawful hooker whore.
Yeah, she's got a heart of gold.
Yeah.
Yes. So we will break here for the day. Everybody gets 3,000 XP for good role play and investigative duties.
Hey, would anybody be against us giving all of that to Alora to help at her level, like we did that one time?
Oh, that's okay. I'll get back up to it. I'm gonna have one
Sure.
level soon enough.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I'll
it
be
was 2
okay.
levels. They're both
Yeah.
we're at the point where higher levels take a lot of XP. It took me a long time to
I
get back my
know.
level lost.
We're about to get paid. I just want Alora to get as much as she can to be back to badass.
Yeah, I
But-
would allow that. If everybody wanted to donate all of their XP to Alora, so that would be 18,000 XP. That would go to
Wow.
Alora.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Is what I
All
would
right.
like. That
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we're a team, and you are one of our healing forces. You know.
So since you guys
Oh.
are so generous like that, I will. Everybody that donated their XP gets an automatic 1,000 XP.
That's
Okay.
hell yeah.
That's okay.
Thank you.
You are a very generous god of the game.
Yeah.
Well, I try to reward where it's due.
Wait for me, Peppermint. Wait for me.
So we will pick this up next week at 12 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you,
right,
sir.
see
This
you
was
then.
very
Thanks
fun.
so much.
All right, have a
Yeah.
good one, guys. I'll see you next week.
See you next